Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the video. If you're new, thank you so much for clicking on that icon or that whatever you clicked on to get to us, or you just scrolling and you saw us on here and you say, I wonder what they're talking about. Well, my name is Dwayne, my wife's name is Belinda, and we are all about the banks. And today I'm going to show you what's going on underneath this. Our Grand Design 376 THS Momentum. I want to show you some things that a lot of people have asked about. So this whole video is going to be about those, not technical things, but those things that we use. So we have been here going on about 30 days at this time. We got our truck back. And it looks amazing. We have one more thing that we want to get done before we hit the road, and that's going to be probably in about another week. So the good thing about being where we are and staying is we get to make sure that we get everything done to the truck before we hit the road. So that just to give you a shot of kind of some more of our accommodations. Here we are out here this morning. We've been cooking a little breakfast, watching some television. We're actually watching YouTube. Watching some of the folks that we've met before, other YouTubers. So this is our setup. Our camper, I don't know if I've ever shown this before, but we have an outdoor kitchen. Well, I call it just a kitchenette. It's not a whole kitchen, but we have a griddle, and we have a little refrigerator. The griddle slides back in there when we're not using it. We got plenty of storage here. This acts as our little table. Then we have entertainment, which is right here. Have a TV, some storage behind it. Oh, let's keep going. We have storage in the middle, it goes all the way across. But this is not about an RV tour. I want to show you what's going on underneath all of this. I've had some questions about some of the things that we use as stabilizers and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you those things. Okay. A lot of people have asked me what this is. This is just wood. It's salt treated wood. I made them probably the first 2 or 3 months that we got the camper. These are 4x6 salt treated, and then then we have 1x6 salt treated on top. All of it screwed together, and I got a handle here that I can grab it to maneuver it. We also have snap pads, not sponsored, but we have snap pads. That's the first thing I bought when we got the camper, and I really love them. Although we use these probably 80% of the time, the snap pads are just extra protection. Now, I made these myself, and like I said, it's just 2 4x6 turn that way, and then 1x6 turn this way. And I cut them to fit my snap pad. On average, it's about 12 inches, and then use decking screws to screw those all together, and then put on the handle. The next thing we use is chocks, and the chocks I have had, probably our last 2 campers, and these to me make a huge difference because they keep the camper from moving back and forth this way. Not so much not side to side, but when you're parked, your camper will tend to do this, which actually will put stress on your landing gear. So to keep from having so much stress on the landing gear, we use the X chocks. Now, as you can see, that's not that far of a distance. There's some campers that have a distance that's a whole lot more than this, so you have to get the right X chocks for your unit. Okay, the next thing are these red risers. These are Anderson blocks, Anderson levelers, and I've had these, man, especially our last two campers. Now this one in particular is for if you have a flat tire, you can raise the other tire up. You see it's significantly larger than this one, but since we have a 3-axle unit, I just use it as a riser. What it does is it allows you to drive up on these and fine-tune your level, because a lot of times you try to get something level and not something, but the camper level, and so you drive up on something and either it's too high or it's not high enough. Then you got to back off and do it again. But these allow you, as you drive up on them, depending on what you use to level with, you can actually check that and see if you're too high or you're too low. So I've really enjoyed these over the years. We've had them now, like I said, this is the second camper that we've used these on. So and all this, these you can buy, you can check it out on our Amazon store. I'll try to put a link somewhere for our Amazon store, and then you can go and purchase your own pair. Okay, we have independent suspension. Tell you what, let's get up close and personal. I wouldn't do this for everybody, but I'll do this for y'all. Okay, we're gonna get up close and personal with our suspension. This is MORryde independent suspension. We have 3 axles, so therefore there are 3 what I like to call units. This is 1, 2, and 3. Now these are bolted to the chassis, and I'll try to get a better picture of that for you. But this whole system, they call it IS for short, has shock here, has dampers here. This is the actual suspension. This is what it rides on. It gives you about 5.5 inches of travel, and this is kind of like the axis. This is what everything rides on, and I hope you can see how it ain't cheap. I can tell you that it ain't cheap, and it is built very well. Now we also have disc brakes. That was part of the whole deal. I wanted disc brakes, so we got disc brakes, which are hydraulic. Since I told you about the disc brakes and all that stuff, we have the D-Max disc brakes system, the C1600, and we have it mounted out here on the side. And on this side, see, this is the other X chock, but remember I told you it was bolted to the chassis? So this is no welds, and that's where it's bolted to the chassis. It's where your other suspension was, so when they designed it, they could easily install it on your unit. Okay, another thing that we use, since we're down here on the underneath the camper, we use a TPMS, and I have the TST model 770, and I really like this one. The other one I had, it was an older model. It wasn't a TST though, but this one gives you your elevation. It's got a whole lot more information on it, and it works a lot better. It actually has an extension antenna that helps keep connectivity between the sensors and the unit. Okay, and another thing you need some good wheel chocks. I think wheel chocks are underrated. I got these at Harbor Freight, I think, but these are standing up real well. They're heavy. I think they'll stand the test of time. They're not the lightweight plastic ones. Okay, and since we're down here on the underneath part of this camper, I want to show you one or two things that you need. Definitely you need a gate valve. I don't know if you've heard me say that before. This helps to keep oopses from happening when you get ready to mess with all this stuff down here. Then I use this. It's a Flush King, and I can back flush both my black and gray tanks. Not at the same time, but I can do it. That's the only way that I found that I can back flush my gray tanks. And it gives you this connection to, it goes in and into the tanks, and then you can flush it. Now I also use this water meter, and it tells me how much water is going into the tanks. So if I got a 50-gallon tank, I know I'm filling it to about 50 gallons with this because I can monitor it, and then I release it, and it keeps me from having a big mess inside the camper if I overflow it. You just got to remember to check on it and not get distracted doing something else. So guys, that's just a quick down and dirty of what's underneath our camper. We don't talk about our camper a whole lot. Maybe that's something I'll start doing a little more. You know, showing you some things that we've done and some things that we like and dislike about the camper. But that's one of the things that a lot of people have asked us about, or asked me about in particular, was some of those little gadgets or some of those little things that we use to stabilize the camper. One of the main reasons we use those blocks and why they're so thick is because the less range this piston has to travel, the better for stabilization. So in other words, if it's down here, then you're going to have a more stable unit. Not going to take all the movement out of it because it is sitting on tires and these rods, but just imagine where this would be without that. This gives it about 6 inches of help. So that's one of the main reasons that I make those, and it keeps those feet from being on unlevel ground or right on a bunch of rocks. Although we have the snap pads, and the snap pads protect it from that. That just gives it another level of protection. So guys, we really appreciate you guys coming and watching the video. Thank you so much. Belinda and I really appreciate you coming, supporting us with your like, shares, and subscriptions. You know, subscribe, not like subscription with a magazine, but just subscribe to the channel. Also, we want to thank everybody who's shown us some love during this time when we've been sitting still. We have probably about another week. We've actually enjoyed it. We've actually enjoyed the downtime. Just wish it didn't come at the cost of the damage to the truck and all that kind of stuff. But we are so appreciative. We thank you. We thank God for what he's done for us and how he's kept us safe. And we really want to thank RC for what he's done. He's just been the best driveway camp host that we know. But don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Oh, I forgot. Some of those things that you saw, I'll put a link to our Amazon store down there, and you can go and buy them from the store or wherever you want to from. But enjoy the journey on the way to your destination, and we'll see you the next time.